All right, but okay, Moky, for those who don't know, Moky basically made like a pretty detailed video that I really liked about the state of Melee. And I will say that, like, you know, yeah, okay, obviously the name is Melee dying. I mean, I'm guilty of this with this stream too. Obviously, it's kind of a clickbait. Like, I feel like if I could summarize the argument that Moky was making in this video, it was basically like top players, like, we don't have a governing body. We're a completely grassroots community. And therefore, it's kind of on top players to keep interest alive. And when top players act like Melee is dying and they don't care about entering tournaments because, you know, we don't rank, there's no rankings that use online tournaments. There's just a lack of interest from the top players, and then the rest of the community they're gonna parrot those opinions, and they're gonna say, well, okay, I mean, Mango and Zane don't seem to think that there's anything worth competing at, so clearly there's nothing worth watching. And I think that the thing about it is, like, we're just in a weird spot right now. We're right on the cusp of a lot of IRL tournaments potentially coming back. Obviously, at the end of last year, there was Smash World Tour, which is extremely hyped. There was Summit, which was extremely hyped the week before that. You know, those were really, really sick events to watch. We're once again, we're kind of at a phase where there hasn't quite been anything for, like, you know, 2 or 3 months now. But the thing people don't realize is this kind of happens every year. Like, even on years where there's no pandemic, right? Like, leading up to 2019, we've always kind of had a tournament off season around January, February, March. There's Genesis, and that's usually just about it. That's like the only tournament. And then usually around April or May, there's like Pound and Gommel, and then in the summer, like, tournaments start up in full force. Yeah, Melee, I mean, yeah, Melee looks very promising. I mean, this video is a little bit outdated already because of the Smash World Tour announcement. Here's the thing. I think most years, something no one really mentions is that most years, people kind of know when things are going to be. People are like, okay, Genesis is always end of January, beginning of February. Pound is always April. Gommel's always May, right? There's always like a set schedule as to when things are happening, and people they get used to it, or they were used to it. I know a lot of people are kind of newer Melee viewers or newer Melee fans because of Slippy, but this is kind of how things were before the pandemic. There was like a loose tournament schedule that people kind of understood, like, these are the majors, these are when they're happening. COVID threw all of that in flux, and it kind of happened to the FGC too. Like, if you look at CEO happened in the winter, and it usually happens in the summer. It's usually a summer tournament. So everything got upheaved, and, you know, suddenly Genesis has to be in April, and like everything is off schedule. And so there's a lot of uncertainty for both players and for fans and for people like me, where it was like, are we going to have the same tournaments that we usually do at this time of year, or is it just going to be a dry spell because of more COVID? That, I think, sucks. And I think that is probably just going to continue to sort of be a factor for the rest of the year. I think Mango very much understands. He jokes around a lot about retiring and all this stuff. Because, you know, one, you got to realize Mango jokes around about everything. And two, yeah, obviously he is getting older. But at the same time, like, Mango really does understand at a very deep level the weight of his presence in the scene and how much it impacts hype levels in Melee. Because, you know, it'd be one thing if Mango was falling off. If he was at the skill level, remember a couple years ago when he started getting ranked like not fifth, you know, like in the top 5, but not number 1, number 2. You know, if he starts taking a backseat, then I think it's one thing. But, you know, he's on top right now. And so, like, I think Mango really does understand. If he doesn't care about Melee, you know, it hurts the game. I mean, you look at the responses people gave Armada when Armada retired. You know, Mango was very upset about it. Mango was like, dude, you know, like, Adam, it was supposed to be me and you and all this stuff. I'm not saying that, you know, I don't empathize with Armada in his own way. Like, I think that Armada is allowed to do whatever he wants. Mango was clearly very upset, right? In a way that I don't think he would be and I don't think it was just about Mango. I don't think it was like, oh, Armada, I wanted to beat you. I think it was about Melee. I think it was, I think it was about, you know, this hurts the scene. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, if you watch Mango's YouTube or his clips, like, even if he says that, you know, he could say whatever he wants, but he plays a shitload of Melee. You know what I mean?
By a decent amount. It's not that it's exciting for HBox because he sucks. So you're like, which is why you watch his ultimate runs, because you're like, is this the run? Oh my god, HBox. You know what I mean? And people don't get that. No one's gonna give me 100 subs for beating the people I'm supposed to beat. And nobody's damn sure gonna give me 100 subs for losing to Harry Poggers. Like, it's just not, like, you don't get it. Like, I hate when people think that everyone else gets the same thing as HBox does. He just, like, it just trust me, it just does not work that way. I used the example at Ludwig's tournament. I played whatever, I got second. I got like 28 gift subs for beating Plup, Moky, Laud. Because I'm supposed to beat those people. Maybe go even with Plup. Don't tell Plup I said that, but you get what I'm saying.
I get the point. Yeah, I think from Mango's perspective that makes sense, but at the same time, like, I don't know. First of all, yes, I don't think people would gift Mango a shitload of subs, but I just don't think that's like his kind of vibe. I don't think people sub to Mango because of any given moment in time. I think they're just diehard fans. I think it's different. I think the fundamental reason most people sub to Mango is different than the fundamental reason most people sub or gift subs to HBox. And I mean, for what it's worth, I think Mango is extremely successful at what he does with regards to like why people sub to him. I feel like there's something more than what Mango's saying. Because yes, for Mango's perspective, for Mango's part, yeah, that does make sense. It's like, it sucks to be the guy where winning is expected and only losing can be hype. Like if only losing is hype, then it's no fun. It's no fun for you. And you know, for what it's worth, like, I don't know, man. I remember during that f***ing stream, because I was watching that run when he streamed LACS. I mean, he had like 5,000 viewers at one point. I don't know. You can say he doesn't get gifted subs like HBox does, but okay, one, I don't think most people get HBox levels of gifted subs. Like, that's just not most people's vibes. And yeah, people are diehards for Mango. Like, people are gonna sub to Mango no matter what. Okay, that aside, yeah, I think having those expectations on you do suck. But the thing is, like, I don't know. I think there's a way to do it. I think there's definitely a way to do it. And if it's conspiring with, like, I don't know, I'm just kind of spitballing here, throwing things out there. Maybe Mango and Zane have to conspire, and it's like, you know, they like once a month they're like, okay, this is the tournament we're gonna enter or something like that. I don't know what it takes or what have you, but I feel like there's gotta be a way to do it. And I can look at some other, you know, you can look at some other gaming scenes for like similar examples of like ways that they make it work. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get it. And I think that for what it's worth, I think when Moky says what he says, I don't think he's just talking to Mango. Because for Mango, yeah, I mean, it's one thing. But you'll notice that Moky in his video, he talks about like top players who do enter. And he's shouting out people like Bobby Big Balls, people like Ginger, people like Aklo. And I think there's a lot of people, like a lot of people at that skill tier that could be doing more. So I don't think it's just about like Mango and Zane or whatever. And I think for them, you know, to kind of have Mango's back a little bit, I actually do think having a little bit of exclusivity actually does make it more hype when they do clash. Because I don't know, if they played literally every week, okay, they wouldn't, because most tournaments are region locked anyway. So it's not like Mango would be like playing, okay, maybe he'd be playing Plup or something. Maybe Mango and Plup should talk and enter 1 TMT a month or something. But, you know, okay, that aside, yeah, I do think it makes it a little bit cooler when they do clash. Because it adds a little bit of that element of like, kind of what we had during the Mango Armada days. Because Mango and Armada would only play like once every couple months. Maybe twice a year, you know? I do think Moky makes some good points. And it doesn't just have to be in the manner of it, like entering tournaments. I think when Moky says, you don't have to, like Moky's overarching point to me was like, you don't have to act like Melee's dead, right? Like just because we're in an off season right now doesn't mean you have to like, act like there's nothing to play for or whatever. And I think you can do that without entering online tournaments, right? All of this is moot now because Smash World Tour got announced. And as you guys saw, there's also this really good Smash calendar of like events that are coming up. There's a ton of events coming up. I've been talking to like, you know, Zane and you know, the Golden Guardians guys and also some of my other top player friends, and people are kind of planning which tournaments they're going to. And yeah, there's no shortage of events coming up. I mean, I think that it just feels like we're in flux because of COVID. Ultimately, it is on... I think the best point he made was basically like, people do listen to top players. You guys remember when... This was actually a big thing in the Ultimate community. You guys remember when all the Ultimate community would do was... All they would do was complain about matchups and how every character's bullshit, every character's toxic. It was like the thing they were known for. And then they kind of like low-key had a movement where like some of their biggest names like kind of went on Twitter and like, guys, we got to stop doing this shit. Like this is the only thing people tweet about. All people tweet about is like how Cancer Rob is, how Cancer Steve is, how you know, like how bullshit this character is, how bullshit that character is, you know, Olimar's bullshit, Minmin's bullshit, whatever. And yeah, people parrot the fuck out of that. I mean, and I used to go to alt locals, and let me tell you, like it was, you know, people would parrot that stuff at locals. Like people definitely, you know, say like, oh, this guy's carried, that guy's carried, you know, all the stuff that people half jokingly complain about online, people definitely were parroting those opinions offline. You know, people who were not at the skill level where it was justifiable or justified. Now, one thing I will say about Moky's video to kind of close out that plot point, I think we shot ourselves in the foot by saying online didn't matter. And low key, cause you guys remember when SCL was happening and Mango's, dude, that shit was lit. I know the top players didn't, like, they were stressed out by it. It was like single limb, but like, bro, nah, like it was so lit. We had, I mean, there were like 20,000 people in BTS Smash chat like every weekend for like 5 weeks in a row. And it was like 20,000 people, like chat was lit. It was Mango, like it was Mango Zane. We had that week Wizzy won. I was commentating, Scar was commentating. Like they had top commentators. They had the left-in show matches, you know. SCL had 50K viewers, and it was every weekend. It was every weekend. Yeah, I think it's valid to say that net play isn't as accurate compared to LAN, but like here's the thing. I actually really like Moky's suggestion of using an alternate ranking to the PGR. Nothing against Panda Global. Of course, they have reasons for doing what they're doing, which is, you know, I mean, you can read, anyone can read between the lines. They're official partners with Nintendo. Of course, they're not going to be able to use online for rankings. I want to show you guys something. I want to propose something to you guys. If you look at the Smash GG page for Ult Summit 4, the interesting thing is the eligibility they used to determine who could actually opt in. They actually used this thing called the Orion rank. Now, you might notice this is not PGR. This is not the PGR. This is an alternative rankings that is made by members of the community. The Orion Rank Ultimate lists the world 150 as compiled by Reddit users Barnard's Loop and Freezy Beats. If Barnard's Loop and Freezy Beats can make a ranking system that that Beyond the Summit can officially use to determine who can opt in for Ultimate Summit 4, there's no reason we can't use the Blur rank. There's no reason we can't have more than one rankings. I'm not saying axe the PGR and fucking like kill it because it's a stupid project. I think the PGR is incredible, and I think that, like, you know, they have extremely high production value, right? Because they come out with these articles with Red Bull and it's this whole thing, and it's dope. But like, if we need as a community, if we need something in the meantime to determine, you know, what we actually care about in terms of how people are performing, there's no reason we can't just do that ourselves. And as evidence, the Ultimate community is literally already doing this. The PGR for Ultimate, by the way, has always only been 50 people. MPGR is 100 people because that's what we did for MIOM. MIOM top 100. PGR is only 50 people. I think that's why they do Orion rank in the first place, because I think it's 100 people, not 50. And then they actually go ahead and they rank 101 to 150 anyway, because they actually rank all the way down to 150. Which, you know, that's kind of cool. And I actually think we could definitely do this for Melee at this point. We've got so many good players now that I just feel like it would be even worthwhile. I really liked Moky's point about, like, you know, why can't we just use the different rankings? Like, I think that, like, if that's what we need, we should make that. Like, I think rankings should serve a purpose. At the end of the day, I think they should exist insofar as the community needs them. And right now, the rankings the community needs don't exist. So we should make them. I don't know. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. And Blur rank got done, I think, with relatively quick turnaround. Maybe we just do another one. I don't know. Do our own top. Maybe we have to bring MIOM back. Maybe we literally need to put out the Scar signal and just bring back MIOM and literally make the MIOM top 100 again. Maybe that's the way to do it.